Hey guys, it's Win, back at it again. After this last weekend, how was everyone's Labor Day weekend? Tell me in the comments. Got to see my boys, got to see Kevin, that whole thing. That was good. Good to get back to locals, though I wasn't able to play. Today we've got a discussion about where's the line. Talking about how, turn zero, right? I had somebody suggest that they wanted to hear about my thoughts on turn zero, and here's my thoughts on turn zero. I'd like to say that I hate turn zero. That's probably what this video is going to be called. Is I hate turn zero. But the thing is, I don't really. But I did want to discuss where's the line. Where exactly are we going to end up? So here's an example of like what I'm talking about in where's the line. We started off with Jar of Greed, right? And Jar of Greed is not a good card, and it never has been a good card. You just draw one card, set it a trap card. It's not a good card. It's bad, right? We have Upstart Goblin, though, where draw one card from your deck and increase your opponent's life points by 1,000. This card has been good in the past. I would argue right now, though, it's completely fine, right? It's at three copies, and it's not really being played in anything outside of, Striker? And even in Striker, I would argue you don't play it, because if you get drolled on Upstart, you just lose the game on the spot. So I think this card's absolutely fine, but at one point it wasn't. So the line has changed. The line has shifted. Pot of Greed, obviously still too strong to be let off the ban list. I mean, yeah, you could, but everyone would just play it anyway. It'd be a staple in every single deck, even if you were to get drolled. This is still obviously too strong, but the line has shifted from here to here, and these cards being okay. So let's move on to the next thing, but, okay. Here's the issue, right? Konami keeps printing cards that skirt that line. Pot of Prosperity being the most egregious example. Pot of Extravagance being an example that, annoying-ass decks use. Bitch-ass decks use. Oh, sorry. Let me go back one. Annoying-ass decks use. But it's generally speaking, Fire King? You're going to be mad about losing to Fire King in 2025? I love Fire King, but if somebody's normal summoning Ponix, I'm like, dude, that's the sickest shit of all time. I'm not like, damn, hyper meta threat. A rank 8. Hell no, I'm not doing that shit. Pot of Desires as well, because of the way modern decks are built, it's not great right now. No decks can really play it freely. Even decks like Melodious, which could theoretically play it, you don't want to hit certain combo pieces, and so you don't play Desires, right? I wouldn't play Desires. And that's like a tier 2 deck. That's like a rogue deck, honestly. So, here's the issue. Droll, again, a aspect in these draw spells and balancing them, because Pot of Prosperity is strong, but I bet the reason why Konami printed it is because they felt it was reasonable with Droll. But you don't always draw Droll. Sometimes your opponent prosperities for Droll at the end of their combo. That's great. That feels fucking fantastic. Thank you, Konami. Let's begin with cards that we know are okay. We're going to talk about this turn 0 line, right? Ash Blossom. Some people think it's too strong. I'm pretty sure we know that it's okay. Ash Blossom in today's day and meta, if your deck can't play through an Ash Blossom, it's dog shit. You probably shouldn't be playing it. Effect Veiler. Similar thing to Ash Blossom. It's not once per turn, so there's some different things there. If your opponent opens 3 of them, that's just, you got bad beats, you got sacked. It's a little different from Ash, but, Effect Veiler generally, we think it's okay. People aren't really playing it that much, but if they were, it'd be fine. This sort of line, a Bestial plus Hoppier Squadron, something like that, a very, very heavy investment. A Bestial Baldrake plus another lighter dark monster as well. It's another thing kind of like that. Super high investment, right? But it's not it's still playing the game on turn 0, and that's why I've played it at locals. It's not good, but I've still played it at locals. But yeah, I think this is definitely the safe zone. And these are all the cards that are obviously too strong. Tearlaments, I kind of just put a bunch of them on screen. It's sort of the whole archetype is the issue, but Havness and Tear Cash are the biggest, most egregious examples, because okay, take away Havness and Tear Cash, and the deck's really, really strong. You have the Agido Millers, you have the Agido Shufflers and everything, but they don't have the ability to just straight up play the game on your turn for literally no cost at all without setup, right? And I think this was a big reason and why a lot of people don't like turn 0. I think Tearlaments is cool and based, but if you don't like people playing on your turn but without setup, this would be terrible. And I completely understand why you would think that. I hate Dimension Shifter. This shit is ass. It should be banned. Completely. I hate this card. I think that the fact that it's at 1 is kind of a slap in the face, but obviously Konami has acknowledged that it's too strong to be a 3, so they just put it at 1. You know what I mean? Similar things with Havness, and Kick Closed is banned, right? Red Reboot, similar thing. It's not necessarily a turn 0 play. It shuts you down. It's a floodgate on your turn, but you play it before your turn, before you really start your turn, when your opponent does something. So it's in that similar vein. These are the cards that we know are too strong. These are the cards that we know are over that line, right? Now we get to the messy part. The cards we don't know that are over that line. The cards that we have to debate about. And like, for me, personally, I am very close to Dragon Link Discourse, and with a new Rocket support being announced, a lot of it Dark Locks. Now, here's the thing, right? I think that I personally still wouldn't play Dominus Impulse in this deck. Now, Dominus Impulse is an extremely strong card. It's Solemn Warning, but like on a hand trap. And I think that Dominus Impulse, because of that, might be too strong. The fact that you have 5 or 6 options in Dragon Link that you could be playing, even with the Dark Locks that you do before the Dark Locks, with like before all that, with extenders and stuff, and people are still saying, oh, we should play Dominus Impulse in our deck, that's crazy to me. A card so centralizing that is happening is wild to me. I don't know if it's too strong, but I would definitely look at limiting it if I was like part of the design team, right? And like seeing that sort of behavior kind of reins you in to know what you're dealing with, right? People weren't really bending over backward to play 3 Upstart Goblin in 2019, 2018, but they would because it's really strong and it would just give you 3 cards in your deck. People are bending over backward to play Dominus Impulse because, like, Dominus Impulse just crushes some decks. Dominus Impulse completely fucks over some decks. If I go normal summon X cross cannon effect equip B effect to summon, you Dominus Impulse me, I'm screwed. There's like basically nothing I can do from there except for activate unauthorized reactivation, and even then, that's one extender. Dominus Impulse is arguably over the line, but I don't know. Let's move on. Dragon Tail Femina, arguably over the line. The fact that you can just do your whole end board thing, do your whole plussing thing on your opponent's turn, arguably over the line. But, it's a part of an archetype. Maybe archetypes should be able to do that. I don't know. Going forward, that's what archetypes seem that they're going to be able to do, at least meta archetypes, right? Think Killer Tune as well, right? The ones that are coming out. And so, Femina, maybe it's over the line, maybe it's not. I would argue it is, again, but maybe it isn't. I think that one Femina could be okay. The fact that you search it as a part of an end board, maybe that's fine, but the fact that you draw it so consistently going first, pitch it, activate it, make a boss, pop your opponent's field, bounce your opponent's field is, that's kind of ridiculous. That's really strong. It's really unreasonable, and it can generate a lot of really unfun game states for a lot of people. I can see why people hate turn 0. I hate turn 0 as well sometimes. K9 I7 Azuna. I think if just the engine would be summoning Ripper and that's it, I'm talking K9 I7 Azuna, just the Lupus and only summoning Ripper, it would probably be fine. I think that just a summon or just a negate from hand or graveyard once per turn would be an okay engine, because it would require you to play a brick, it would require you to draw an Azuna, you could wield your ashes defensively as well as offensively, and because of all that, I think that would be fine. But the fact that this can summon more things, the card that books things face down, multiple pops on a monster, a rank 5 that doesn't omni-negate, basically, in Durandal, and a rank 5 that can Droll Reincarnation you in Durandal is completely ridiculous. I mean, it makes me very upset to think about that, right? The fact that you can Droll Reincarnation someone with Artifact Durandal in 2025 is completely bullshit. The fact that K9I7 Azuna can be that sort of card is wild to me. And like, okay, maybe, right, this is like a hand trap combo thing, but like, it's comboed with Vanquish Soul as well. Speaking of, here's Holly Sue, right? I think in a vacuum, Holly Sue might be okay. I think in a vacuum, having an archetype that tags out would get a turn 0 play would be okay. I think that the problem with Holy Sue is that it can also snatch steal one of your cards. I think that the fact that it does that on a turn that it's special summoned, maybe it needed a restriction on this for something, is really, really tough. I think that that's really hard to justify, and I think this card specifically is over the line. I think Izuna as well is over the line. I think these are a little bit more justifiable for some other reasons. This one's a little bit more restrictive in archetype. This one's a little bit more restrictive in type and attribute. I think that these are a lot less justifiable. I think the line is here. But, of course, you can debate about it. Go in the comments, yell at each other. That's what we're here for. I think it should be at the Bystials. Now, I know that I'm really, really biased in this. I understand that, but what I'm saying is the Bystials are extremely strong monsters. Maybe not Magma. That card is fucking crazy. The Bystials are extremely strong monsters, but to get a sort of turn zero play, quote-unquote, would be Bystial Baldrake, right? Bystial Baldrake plus Bystial Sarnir. Very strong. It's 2 cards, though. One of them is just a DD Crow plus a body, and, like, okay, you're going to get Lubellian Engrave. You might be able to summon it on your next turn if they don't deal with the Baldrake. You might be able to set up a Regain. Very powerful, but it's still 2 cards, and you've only set up a Regain. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think the line was perfectly drawn at the Bystials, and this is part of the reason why I think Age of Overlord format was so good, because in Age of Overlord format, you could play inside the Bystials as a very powerful engine, but you wouldn't side them against every deck, because stuff like Rescue Ace was just so prominent, right? And so, because stuff like Rescue Ace was so prominent, you wouldn't see them a lot in the main board, except for in decks like Dragon Link and stuff like that. See, I think that Bystial specifically, they nailed it, and they should rein back in the power level of sort of engines like K9 to Bystials. I think that if K9 could only be sided against certain decks, it would be way, way more interesting. And the same goes for the Molcharmies, right? I think the Molcharmies, in theory, could be fine if they gave you, like, 2 draws, but the fact that they do so much against every single deck except for, like, Centurion and Flunder, and that's it. It's just Maxis. Like, that's so bullshit, right? I think that Meowls for Malice maybe could have been fine if it drew you, like, 3 cards, and 3 is a lot, yeah, but, like, also, Malice end boards could eat a draw 3. The issue with Meowls is it drew you, like, 7. Like, that's ridiculous. No deck can play through a draw 7, right? And that's, like, yeah. So, this is where I think the line should be. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Stream Wormhole Wonderland. I'll be heading off now. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.